America and everywhere else in the world. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Corey Has a Podcast. Happy Memorial Weekend, everybody. Happy Memorial Weekend. What do people normally do on Memorial Weekend? I think, first of all, I think everybody's really happy that it's summertime, finally. Apart from those people that hate summer, and every now and then you get those people, oh, God, I hate summer. And depending on where you live, it's reasonable to hate summer. I mean, I get it. Like, if you live somewhere where you get all four seasons and it was a brutal winter and it was a long winter, and maybe like it was like not necessarily freezing, but maybe it was like raining a lot. Maybe it was gray and and we need the sun. It makes us happy. So maybe you live somewhere where the weather just wasn't really nice for a while. So you're happy to get some sunny days, right? Or if you live somewhere where it's like sunny and nice all the time, and then in the summer it just gets way too unbearably hot. I get it. Am I happy about the summer? Yeah, I used to hate the summer when I was like, I want to say late high school years, early college years, because I like wearing jackets and shit, and I feel like in the summertime in New York City, it just gets way too humid to be comfortable in anything you wore. And I was really, just wanted to look cool. So summertime, I think it's the hardest to look like. It's the hardest to feel good in a dope outfit, I think, in the summer. So really, you just got to get comfortable with not wearing a lot of clothing, which is kind of cool too, also, and people are really taking advantage of it. Like the second it gets kind of warm, immediately skin is showing, and it's great and it's fun, and you get the hot sun on your skin, and you get it on your face, and it makes you warm. Some people hide from the sun. You ever see those umbrella people? I got a real issue with umbrella people sometimes, because there's no class on how to behave when you're walking around wielding an umbrella, right? Especially when it's raining. Now, you live in a city and there's scaffolding all over the place, but it's a rainy day. People have umbrellas. Reasonable. Not reasonable. Walking under a block that is like 50% scaffolding, leaving your umbrella open. I'm not really tall, but I'm not short either. I'm 5'11", and umbrellas will smack me in the fucking face sometimes, and it's like, why is your umbrella up under the scaffolding, right? This is like this is on a list of things that drive me nuts. Another thing that drives me nuts: people in public places around other people on FaceTime calls. I don't understand it. I just don't get it. Without headphones in, you could be on a FaceTime call, right? But like, why do I have to be privy to the conversation? So yeah. But anyway, it's Memorial Weekend, and yeah, people are pretty stoked. It's a long weekend for a lot of people. I don't really know. I'm so out of touch with like what it's like, and I'm sure a lot of people are, especially after COVID and quarantine and all that, but just what it's like to work a Monday through Friday kind of 9-to-5 type job, or be a student where you care about things like, this is a 4-day weekend. It's like, yeah, I suppose, you know what I mean? For me, I have training clients who are out of town maybe, or doing stuff with their families. And and happily for me, like I get excited about this. Some of my clients want to train. They're like, are you going to be available for me to train you on Monday and shit? And I'm like, or to work out on Monday. And I'm like, absolutely. I'm working out. Like, that's non-negotiable to me. So absolutely. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And I'm happy to hear that you want to do it. I've been really focused lately on helping my client, because I've been feeling so good in my own workouts and my own training, and just like humbling myself down to know that the journey is going to constantly be evolving into a different journey over your years that you spend training, right? Like when I was 15 and I first got like into a bodybuilding gym with my dad, And he's like put me under dumbbells and got me benching and doing heavy rows and all types of shit. And throwing plates on a leg press, because that's just, it seemed like back then everybody was afraid to put a fucking barbell on their back and squat it. So, but yeah, doing all that stuff, I just wanted to have muscles, right? And now over the years, it's like, it's evolved from like going from late teens to early 20s to just like kind of aesthetically wanting to look good. And that stayed with me, I'll say, up until now, right? Aesthetically, like, why would you work so hard if you don't want to achieve a certain aesthetic as well, right? But also performance and like being able to do things has been like where my journey has led me to. Yeah, of course, I'm super happy with the way my physique looks, and I'm proud. Like, I feel good taking my shirt off, and I feel really comfortable and confident in my body. But finding that journey and like sharing it with clients that I get to train one-on-one has been just super dope. So I just wanted to share that because it's Memorial Weekend and motherfuckers still want to work out. So I think that shit is dope. I was sitting here, I'm having a cup of coffee, right? It's not even noon. It's 10 a.m. and I just like didn't feel like podcasting. And I know recently, like maybe a few months back, I was like, God, I don't know if I want to continue to do this, but I will say I love having this outlet. I love having this space to just be able to talk. Like, and recently too, people have been just tuning in and listening, right? You got things going on in your life and people find it relatable. And it's like, you may not always have to go on and tell some crazy story. Yeah, I could tell you about how when I was a little kid, I thought it was called cold slop, not coleslaw, and I had no idea what it was, right? I mentioned coleslaw recently in the thing. I legitimately thought it was called cold slop because it was cold, and obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's like, you got to come on here and tell a witty story. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Or I could sit here and talk about how I've been getting good sleep lately, right? Like, who can relate to that? Who has, are you getting to a level of maturity within your friend group where you realize there's things that you enjoy doing by yourself, and there's things that you want to do with your friends, and there's things that people invite you to that you want to say no to. I feel like it's so healthy to be able to say no. It's like these things are going to keep coming up in your life. So it's nice to just constantly, let's just revisit them. But sometimes it's like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to get off the couch right now and do a podcast, but I do enjoy coming on here and just like letting it just seeing where my brain goes. Because I know a lot of people who do podcasts, and I have plenty of friends who do them. I listen to a lot of them. I listen to like some podcasts from people that I know personally are like, Wild Nights with Rocky, my friend Rocky Powell. She's got a great show. I listen to the Movies to Watch Before You Die with Gab and Dylan is one of my favorite podcasts if you're a movie person. And it's not even necessarily like, they're not going to go on there and be like, yeah, you should watch this. I was going to say Inception. It's like, yeah, of course you should fucking watch Inception. Maybe they will. I don't know. But, each of them suggests a movie, and then they talk about whether they agree if you should watch it before you die or not. It's great. And my friend Teresa, she's got Exaggerated. Like, these are all great shows, and everybody's got a different format. So it's always interesting to me to see like the preparation and the production that goes behind it. But like, I legitimately just hit record and I just start going. And I like that. But sometimes I'll be sitting on the couch and I'm like, I don't feel like opening this fucking laptop and talking, one of my most popular episodes recently was me talking about how I made a job transition. I did not make a career transition. I made a job transition. And I think we kind of all live in this fear of where we just pretend that things are okay no matter what, no matter where we work, especially professionally, because you're kind of on the hook in terms of like whoever you work for, you want to make sure that you're not talking shit about your employer. Obviously, you don't want to lose your job, but then you leave a job and you also don't want to kind of like have create like leave animosity, right? So I don't I feel like there should always be a platform where people should be allowed to speak their minds, right? So, but I did this episode recently and I was talking about this job change that I made, and I got some feedback about it. Like motherfuckers that I haven't even spoken to in a while, like hit me up like, "Yo, I heard you talking about this." And I don't really do things so motherfuckers could listen to it and be like, "Oh, damn, that was crazy. You heard what he said?" But I really do enjoy getting on here and just speaking my mind. So, whatever you got from that, or maybe hopefully I inspired somebody to, you know, maybe try to make some changes and gain some self-respect and know their worth and go seek out good opportunities for themselves. But I thought that was cool. But it's just been, the reason I bring that up is because it's been so interesting to see the growth lately. Like lately, like I'm getting like a really steady listenership. I'm confused about it. But whatever it is, I hope you keep on listening, and I hope you share it with your friends. And speaking of friends, right? I feel like throughout my 20s, I spent a lot of time constantly hanging out and making sure I was always on the scene and not missing a beat, right? Like FOMO is a real thing. Like you're home and all your friends are doing this thing and hanging out at this bar or whatever, or going to this party, and you feel like you missed everything, and it just like weighs so heavily on you. And then like people start moving on to different parts of their lives. Like people move on to next chapters, people start having children, people start saying, I can't do this anymore because of my career. Maybe I moved, maybe people relocate to another part of the country because their lives took them there. And you start to see it fall apart. And I just kind of realized that that's just life, right? Like it's just a series of you just have these seasons, right? Like in this season, I was doing this all the time, and now I no longer do this. And you hold on to people. I think with social media, you get this false sense of keeping in contact with people just because you follow them, right? So you kind of know what's going on if they're a person who shares what they do all the time, but you may not like hit them up. You might like their photo, but you may not like, hey, how's it going? I hope all's well. I saw you did this. You may not even be talking to them, but I think it's so impersonal after a while. It's like, yeah, I know you still. I think even going like bare minimum, like sharing a meme or something that made you think of that person and a laugh you may have had a few years ago or something is always nice. But I do feel like we have this false sense of like friendship with people that we follow on social media, and sometimes you meet people during certain areas of your life that you don't expect to become really close friends with, and you end up becoming like your closest friend in the world. I will say that my best friend and I, we met when we were like 15, about to turn 16-ish. So we were like in high school, and we were just friends in school, and we didn't reconnect until college, and we just hung out every single day. And now we just like are becoming, I can't even say becoming adults because we are, right? But we're just evolving into people, and I think we're constantly evolving. So we're evolving into the people we are right now. And we're continuing to watch each other's journeys, right? And I think that there's some kind of, it's cool to do that, because I think putting yourself around people, seeing different perspectives. I love listening to I love listening to Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. I think that's a great show, and he gets these great guests on, and I love hearing people's perspectives on like life and their story. Like did I talk about this last time? Maybe. Sometimes I will listen to a tiny little portion of my podcast and go, I'm not listening to this shit. And Not that you shouldn't, but just because I don't want to hear myself talk. And it just, some people do though. Some people like to hear themselves talk. But yeah, goddamn, what was it? Yeah, I just like hearing people's perspectives, and it's nice to watch somebody else's journey. Like, I think about like The Fox and the Hound, which is honestly one of the saddest movies ever made. Where they're just like, they're buds, but their lives just took different courses, and that's just kind of what happens, right? You watch your friends go off and do things, and you're like, oh, interesting choice. I never imagined you would do that. Some people's friends go off to become murderers, and they go, whoa, look at that person on the news. I used to sit across from them at the cafeteria lunch table, and now this person's a murderer. Yeah, so we all take different. Or this person became a librarian, or a priest, or a firefighter, or the president of the United States. It happens, okay? And we're like, I used to know that person back then. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I went off on multiple tangents because that's just what I do. New album coming out next summer because I got to work on it now. This Taylor Swift thing is really, really taking off. Isn't this crazy? Like, the tickets are so expensive. I think Ticketmaster fucked this up for everybody, and I had no idea that Taylor Swift was that special to people. I respect her as an artist. I didn't know. I just did not know. So good for her. Sucks for the fans, but holy shit. And if you are following this, I don't know all the details, but I guess I could look it up for people who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, which I feel like more people know about it than I do. Taylor Swift to MetLife. What's the issue here? Oh, yeah, because she's in Jersey, and she's fucking, listen, how many seats has Taylor Swift? Taylor Swift eventually issued a statement in which, without naming Ticketmaster, she called this situation excruciating. They could handle this kind of demand. Listen, a bunch of people, I'm going to break it down like a fraction. A bunch of people wanted to see Taylor Swift. Ticketmaster made a mistake. Now the tickets are really expensive. That is what happened. In other news, the Little Mermaid movie came out. For some reason, people are upset because I think that these like groups of people just wait for something to happen so they can get upset about it. And then, because everybody likes to have a voice. And there was a point in time where only some people had a voice, right? And that's not always great, but people got upset about the fact that the makeup artist wasn't a part of the LGBTQ community, and they did Ursula's makeup, which, it would have been kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know how anything works, right? So bear with me. Like, so everybody else doing everybody else's makeup, like the guy doing the fish makeup and the crab and the seagull was like just hired to do that job, but they specifically hired another person to do this job. I don't know. Anyway, people got upset, as they do, and it's just the culture we live in. So I wish that I could care that much about a movie that I saw as a child getting remade. When are we gonna just start making new movies anyway? Right? Why does it have to be The Little Mermaid? Why can't it be just some other mermaid movie? Right? Well, like, we'd be down for that. People like mermaids. It's mermaid season anyway. Go down to fucking the Bahamas and all the mermaids are out. Yeah. So people are outraged, looking up, having a good time. I'm going to get the hell out of here because I'm done, okay? I'm going to finish my coffee. I'm going to enjoy my Sunday. We're going to go do Murph today. That means we're going to run a mile. And then we're going to do 100 pull-ups. And then 200 push-ups. And then 300 squats, and then run another mile. That is what we're going to do on this Sunday. And then we're going to go get banh mi sandwiches because fuck yes, why wouldn't we? All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Take care of the people you love. And happy Memorial Day. Later.